Hello everyone, welcome back to LaExcellence Bengaluru presents current issue of the day, episode number 193. Today we will discuss about one of the age-old debates in the governance, that is development versus environment, that is development versus tribals, that is development versus biodiversity. We'll discuss this in the aspect or the context of the Great Nicobarese project. The reason I have taken this project was recently there was an editorial and there was also debates and discussion between two of the prominent leaders, that is Sonia Gandhi from the Indian National Congress and leaders from the BJP, the ruling party. We will discuss what is this Great Nicobar project and why did Sonia Gandhi decide to write an editorial, why did she decide to scrap or talk about Great Nicobar project now. All these things will be discussed in today's video. Then we'll discuss what is important for GS2 and GS3 as well as GS1. In GS3 obviously for environment and ecology and biodiversity, and GS1 for society, and GS2 governance, and in GS3 economy. So it can be asked in any of these syllabus. Context is the Great Nicobar Island project with an estimated cost of rupees 72,000 crore has sparked significant controversy. First we will discuss what is this Great Nicobar project and then we will discuss what this controversy is about. So what is this Great Nicobar Island project? The location, obviously as the name suggests, it is focused on developing the Great Nicobar Island, southernmost of Nicobar group in the Andaman Nicobar Islands. If you see the front page of this PPT, you have the map of Andaman and Nicobar. So the southernmost Great Nicobar Island, this is where this Great Nicobar project is going to be. So there is Car Nicobar, Little Nicobar, and there is Greater Nicobar. So this Nicobar Island project is focused on this southernmost part of Nicobar Islands. This is Andaman and this is Nicobar Islands. So what is this aim? What are the different projects that are covered under Great Nicobar project? So the cost is 72,000 rupees. 72,000 crore rupees. The objective is to transform Great Nicobar into strategic, economic and ecological hub, whereas we are going to integrate port development, industrial corridors, tourism and infrastructure. And the proponent is the Government of India in collaboration with the private and strategic investors. The components of the projects are, first is it includes a greenfield international airport. What is greenfield? A new airport. Okay, brownfield or the renovation of a new airport, which is already there is already a project already there, and now we are going to improve on that project, as called as brownfield projects. But if you are going to develop a new project altogether from the scratch, are called as greenfield projects. So here there will be new greenfield international airport in the Great Nicobar Island. Aim is to enhance connectivity and strategic mobility. And second is deep sea port in Galatea Bay. Aim is to support commercial shipping and strategic naval operations. Okay, as we said, the new age of 21st century will unfold in Indo-Pacific. This was said by S. Jaishankar. The age of 21st century will unfold in front of Indo-Pacific. So if we want to be part of this new unfolding journey, we have to have a strategic foothold in the Indo-Pacific region. For that, Andaman Nicobar is very important for us. So in that aspect, we are building a deep sea port. Industrial corridor and economic zones promotes trade, logistics and employment opportunities. Urban and tourism development, resorts and urban settlements designed to boost tourism. And also roads and utilities, infrastructure expansion to integrate commercial, industrial and residential areas. So it is not only on the connectivity, it is also on infrastructure, it is also on industries, etc., etc. So what is the significance or importance of this Great Nicobar project? The strategic significance. It's significant from the economic, from the geopolitical and from the defense perspective. In the geopolitical, it is located near the Strait of Malacca, which is a choke point in Indo-Pacific region, vital for Indo-Pacific trade and naval security. In the defense, supports Indian Navy and Coast Guard operations in the area. and an economic potential hub for logistics, trade, and most importantly, tourism. So, on the outset, this project seems to be a very good project because it is not only addressing the issues of development, it is also addressing the issue of strategic significance. It is also addressing the issue of defense or military importance of Nicobar Islands. So, for it is a good project, right? But however, we have to consider the geographical location of Nicobar. We have to consider the physical geography and the human geography of Nicobar. So this is where the problem arises. That is, Sonia Gandhi called this the making of an ecological disaster in the Nicobar Islands. She calls this Great Nicobar Island as an ecological disaster. Why? This project threatens indigenous communities. Who are the indigenous communities? Like Nicobarese and Shompen. It risks destruction of one of the world's most richest biodiversity hotspots. That is Nicobar, the Great Nicobar Wildlife Sanctuary. Then exposes the island to natural disasters. And by bypassing constitutional bodies, statutory safeguards, and scientific warnings, the project raises concerns over governance, justice, and sustainable development. We will discuss all these things in detail. This is kind of an introduction given by Sonia Gandhi in her editorial. This is the Great Nicobarese project. So, if this is the Nicobar Island, this is the Galathea National Park, and the project area will be all these things to be diverted for the project. So proposed international container transshipment terminal will be here, and this is the Galathea Bay, and buffer zone is here, and biosphere reserve is here, and the part of biosphere reserve which falls under project. This is the complete area which will be coming under Nicobar project. So you can see it is on the edge or it is on the shores of this island, but it is very significant for all these reasons which I have explained. First, we'll discuss about its impact on the indigenous communities. Concerns of Nicobar project: uprooting tribal communities. First and foremost important community in this area or in this region is the Nicobaris themselves. Project overlaps with the ancestor villages. Many were already displaced by the 2004 tsunami, and their return is now almost impossible with new Nicobaris project. And Shompen threat: the Shompen are a particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Their land is denotified and the forests are destroyed, risking the cultural and ecological extinction. You might ask, it is just a land, right? We can build something else or some other land and some other home somewhere else and they can just relocate them. But you have to understand, for tribals, for indigenous communities, the land is not just a land. For them, it is a spirit. I will explain you with the help of Nature Man Spirit Complex, which is given by LP Vidyarthi, who is a famous Indian anthropologist. LP Vidyarthi used the concept of Nature Man Spirit Complex. I will just explain you in few quick words. What is this nature? Nature is obviously the forest. Who is the man here? Man is obviously the tribal communities or the indigenous communities. And the spirit is the spirit that they worship. So this LP Vidyarthi studied Nature Man Spirit Complex in the Malir communities. Malir communities, for them the forest was their nature and the man was the Malir community itself, and there was a spirit for which they used to pray all the time, and that spirit was called as Gosayan spirit. Gosayan. For them, if they want to pursue any activity, that is, if they want to go hunting, if they want to go gathering, if they want to do any marriage, etc., everything has to be done under the under the guise of, or under the guidance of Gosayan. They used to pray Gosayan or the spirit, and then they used to go for all these things. For them, this Gosayan resided in the forest itself. So, for them, the nature or the land contained the spirit of Gosayan, contained the spirit of their ancestors. So for them, land is not just a land, it is also the main core of this nature, man and spirit complex. Nature, man and spirit complex. Okay, hope it is clear now. nature, man and spirit complex. And with respect to this Nicobar is, for Nicobar is the nature is the Nicobar is forest and also the shore, and the spirit is the ancestral spirit they worship, and the man is the Nicobaris. These Nicobaris, they go for fishing and hunting. They normally go for fishing and hunting, and whenever they go for the fishing, hunting, and marriages, they always worship their ancestral spirits. So, if you are making them vacate their lands or ancestral villages, it is obviously destroying their nature man spirit complex. So, you have to consider this aspect as well. Next, even it is same for the Shopman tribe as well. Shopmen are particularly vulnerable tribes. What is particularly vulnerable? Meaning they are already isolated, meaning they are already downtrodden, meaning they are already uh, very primitive in economy, in politics, etc. So they have to be protected. And also, the Sonia Gandhi criticizes the government of gross violation of tribal safeguards. That is the violation of constitutional mandate under Article 338A. That is, it mandates consultation with NCERT, that is National Commission for Scheduled Tribes, which was bypassed by the government, which is gross violation of the Constitution of India. So this is the Nicobaris and this is the Shopmans. And then tribal council objections were ignored and a no objection letter was coerced and later revoked. Okay, even the tribal council's mandate was not heard in this case. Next, the mockery of legal and regulatory safeguards. Sonia Gandhi says that there was social impact assessment, but this social impact assessment excluded the chief stakeholders, that is Nicobaris and the Shopmen. They excluded Nicobaris and Shopmen, denying the stakeholders status. What is the social impact assessment? It assesses the impact of any project on the society. You might have already heard about environment impact assessment, where we assess the impact of a project on the environment. Similar to that, it is social impact assessment. In social impact assessment, we do consultations with important stakeholders. Who is the important stakeholder in this case? That is Nicobaris and Shopmen. But unfortunately, in the social impact assessment, their opinions was not heard. Next, Forest Rights Act of 2006. The Shopmen's authority to protect forest was ignored as well. Under the Forest Rights of 2006, it provides certain rights such as title rights, user rights, forest management rights. So here the forest management right and title rights are not being recognized by the government of India. Next, constitutional neglect, that is bodies like NCST and tribal councils were sidelined, which undermines democratic accountability. Then another important issue that was highlighted by Sonia Gandhi was about forced compensatory afforestation. So what is normally compensatory afforestation? If you are cutting down trees somewhere, you have to plant trees somewhere else, okay, as a compensation. So normally if you are cutting down a tree in one region, adjacent to that particular region, you have to plant certain trees. That is compensatory afforestation. If you are not able to plant the trees, you have to provide certain fund. That is called as compensatory afforestation fund. And to overlook this compensatory afforestation fund, there is an authority, that is CAMPA, Compensatory Afforestation and Management and Planning Authority, which was brought by CAMPA Act. So making this CAMPA a statutory body. So this is available for compensatory afforestation. So logically, if the trees are being cut in Nicobar, which approximately is around 8 to 10 lakh trees by the government estimate, but an independent estimate says that it will be more than 50 lakh trees. So if 50 lakh trees are being cut by Nicobaris, the logical explanation is that they are going to plant these 50 lakh trees somewhere else in the Nicobar itself. But what is happening in this case? The plants are being cut in Nicobar. And where are they being planted? They are being planted in thousands of acres in Haryana. Where is Nicobar? Where is Haryana? Nicobar is in the southeast of India, in the middle of ocean, and Haryana is in the northwest of India. So again, Sonia Gandhi criticizes this compensatory afforestation as far side. Massive tree felling, around 32 to 58 lakhs. Afforestation mismatch, that is planting in Haryana far from Nicobar's unique ecology. And mining contradiction, that is a quarter of afforestation land is auctioned for mining, nullifying the mitigation as well. So here there is also coastal regulation zone violations, that is port is being built in CRZ 1A. What is CRZ 1A? CRZ 1A are those regions of the coast which are ecologically very significant, which according to the regulations bans any sort of developmental activities. Even though they are banning any sort of developmental activities, you are going there and we are building a port there. So it is again the gross violation of the government's violation rules as well. Prohibiting constructions due to turtle nesting and coral reefs. So here also there is an issue. So there was a survey conducted in this particular region about turtles. When did they conduct the survey? They conducted in off nesting season. Okay, off nesting season. Normally when the season is of nesting, there will be more turtles. When there will be more turtles, it means that there is a larger turtles are present, so you don't need to build dams, or you don't need to build a port, you don't need to do any developmental activities. But when was the survey conducted? It was conducted in off season. When there is off season, obviously there is lesser turtles. So according to this survey, there were lesser turtles, which meant that you can construct the port. So even here there was a farce. Even here there was a malified. So ecological and wildlife concerns. Apart from this, Nicobar is long-tailed macaque. It is, I think I have not taken the image here. It is a macaque species which is very endemic to Nicobaris. So his survival risk warnings were ignored as well. Next, sea turtles. Off-season surveys compromise the accuracy, as I explained you. And dugong, which is called as a sea cow. Drone surveys covered only shallow waters and risks underestimated. These dugongs obviously live under the water. Okay, live under the water. If you are going to fly a drone over the water, if this is the drone, if you are going to fly over the water, you will be able to only see the dugongs which are swimming on the surface. If the dugong is swimming under the deep waters, you won't be able to catch the dugong. You won't be able to do the survey properly. Here also the survey was not proper. And biased assessments, that reports allegedly conducted under duress undermine the credibility. So all the things point to a false or malified in this project. Then a distress prone location, very important. The region, that is Nicobar region, has a history of distresses or history of hazards. That is in 2004 tsunami, that is 2004 Easter tsunami, which resulted in more than 2 lakh deaths around the world. It impacted Nicobar as well, which resulted in 15 feet land being subsidized under water. Next, seismic risk. In July 2025 witnessed a 6.2 magnitude earthquake. You can consider this as a warning itself. And then investment and safety. Infrastructure and lives face catastrophic risk from earthquakes and tsunamis. So which is already in the seismic zone here. If it is already in the seismic zone, if you are going to add extra infrastructure or extra construction, it is going to lead to extra induced seismicity. Okay, when there is higher seismicity, obviously it is going to lead to earthquakes. Okay, so these are some of the concerns of this Nicobaris project. So key takeaways out of this project and out of this document or out of this editorial that is written by Sonia Gandhi is that there is a stark governance failure, that is bypassing constitutional, legal and scientific protocols, threatens justice and transparency. And tribal rights, Nicobaris and Chapman face cultural and ecological displacement. Ecological disaster, that is biodiversity hotspots and marine ecosystems are at high risk, and disaster vulnerability, that is island seismic and tsunami prone nature, makes large scale projects very risky. And policy lessons from this is there should be sustainable development, must integrate environmental, sustainable, social and disaster risk assessment. So the development should consider all these factors, that is environment, that is social, that is disaster, that is biodiversity, and one more you can add, that is the tribal or indigenous communities. So the plan has to be at the center of this, which will be sustainable development. So in the way forward, we should focus on sustainable development, where we address all these issues, where we take the cognizance of all the stakeholders involved. Only then we can go forward with respect to Great Nicobar project. Okay, so this is the topic for the day. I think I covered this in a holistic way. If you like the video, then please hit the like button, comment on it, and also share with the friends. And if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon so that you don't miss any notification. With this, I will end the video. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.